Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat at 2047 in collaboration Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing as part of awareness and campaigns. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is commemorated as World Information Architecture Day. World Information Architecture Day is observed every 5th March by volunteers in numerous locations to inspire global discussion about information architecture, in short known as IA, and its application in our daily lives. It is a day to learn about the structure of IA and how we connect to make it easy for people to find, understand, and use the information they need. Actually, we are already involved in the practices of IA. For example, the web navigation that you see when you visit any website or even our website is a practice of IA. So there are numerous definitions of information architecture depending on the field. Richard Saul Berman, an architect and a graphic designer, first used the word information and architecture together in 1976. According to Berman, an information architect is the individual who organizes the patterns inherent in data, making a complex clear. A person who creates a structure or map of information which allows others to find their personal paths to knowledge, the emerging 21st century professional occupation, and addressing the needs of the age focused upon clarity, human understanding, and the science of the organization of information. For those definitions, we can conclude that the IA is the arrangement of patterns essential in data to make complex information understandable. It is a structure or map of facts that enables people to search for the specified information they need. IA is also a means to address the needs of an era where clarity, human understanding, as well as the science of organizing information are the priority. It is the action of making information findable. One example is the web navigation on a website that helps us find specific information. Web navigation is not the same as IA, but it is one of the implementations of IA. In the world where so much information is at our fingertips, IA can help us sort out which ones are credible and which are disinformation. It makes it easier for us to find relevant information that we need to understand complex matters. It is the information architects tasked to make all those possible. One of the missions of World Information Architect is to build and connect a global community of advocates and practitioners of IA. So be part of the global community to promote the role of IA in different fields. Signage at airports or subway navigation maps is an example of IA works in everyday life. To become an information architect, you need to have experience in writing, graphic design, or web design, as well as formal training in at least one of those fields. There are four main components of information architecture, including organization systems, labeling systems, navigation systems, and searching systems. So this day provides volunteering opportunities such as curating content, managing social media, and translating content. World Information Architecture Day is more than just once a year celebration. They also have various year-round events. It offers a chance for the host a local event so that you can bring value to your community and raise awareness of the practice of IA and find out more. Berman has published 100 books on various topics such as football, healthcare, and the Olympic Games. Berman graduated from the University of Pennsylvania with the highest honors in 1959. Berman co-founded TED with Harry Marks in February 1984 as a conference. His wife, who is also an author, Glory Nagy, is an internationally best-selling author of 12 books. He also co-authored Urban Atlas, 20 American Atlas Cities. Urban Atlas, 20 American Cities, the first comparative statistical atlas of major American cities, was also co-authored by Berman. So this day, World Information Architecture Day, is held annually across the globe. It's the best time to share knowledge and learn more about IA. So getting to interact with others in the field is a great opportunity to share perspective. It raises IA is an important thing to understand. It can help sort out information, which sources are credible and which are disinformation, especially in today's world. World Information Architecture Day gives an opportunity to connect people and share information globally. This wide reach has a greater impact at the community level. Today is also commemorated as International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness on March 5th. The International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness seeks to promote better awareness and understanding of disarmament issues among the public, especially young people. Since the founding of the United Nations, the goal of multilateral disarmament and arms limitation have been central to the organization's efforts to maintain international peace and security. Weapons of mass destruction, in particular, nuclear weapons, continue to be primary concerns owing to their destructive power and threat they pose to the humanity. The excessive accumulation in the conventional weapons and the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons jeopardizes international peace and security and sustainable development. While the use of explosive weapons in populated areas is seriously endangered, civilians, news and emerging weapons technologies such as an autonomous weapon pose a serious challenge to global security and have received increased attention from the international community in recent years. Observed on 5th March, the International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness plays a role in deepening the global public understanding about how disarmament efforts contribute for enhancing peace and security, preventing and ending armed conflicts, and curbing human suffering caused by weapons. Though through Resolution 77 by 51, the General Assembly invites the member states, the organizations of the United Nations system, civil society, academia, and media and individuals to commemorate the International Day, including through all means of educational and public raising activities. Every 2 minutes, somewhere in the world, a life is tragically cut short by a firearm. The stark statistic underscores the urgent need for disarmament and arms control in a world where military spending continues to soar while peace initiatives remain woefully underfunded. In 2023, global military spending reached $2.4 trillion. An estimated 12,400 nuclear weapons remain an existential threat to humanity today. For the ninth consecutive year, global military spending increased in 2023, reaching a 2.4 trillion. So the Office for Disarmament Affairs support multilateral efforts aimed at achieving the ultimate goal of general and complete disarmament and a strict and effective international control. The office also works to address the humanitarian impact of major conventional weapons and emerging weapon technologies such as autonomous weapons, as these issues have received increased attention from international community. As the Secretary General stressed in his disarmament agenda, Securing Our Common Future, launched on 24, 2018, disarmament and non-proliferation must be at the center of the work of United Nations and an integral part of our common efforts for peace and security. Outlining a set of practical measures across the entire range of disarmament issues, including weapons of mass destruction, conventional arms and future weapons technologies, the agenda focuses on disarmament as a critical tool to maintain international peace and security, uphold the principles of humanity, protect civilians, promote sustainable development, and prevent and end armed conflict. There is also commemorated as Discover What Your Name Means Day in US, which is celebrated on Wednesday of the first full week of March, and this year it takes place on March 5th. As the name implies, Discover What Your Name Means Day is a day to find out true meaning of your name. There are so many names in the world, each of them beautiful and unique, and deserve to know why yours is special. Your name can reveal a lot about your culture or family history, whatever the case may be. Celebrate Discover Your Name Day by doing some research into the meaning of your name. You might be surprised by what you will find. Today is also commemorated as Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day, which takes place annually on March 5th. This day is used to create awareness about DID. People who have DID may feel like they have multiple personalities living in their bodies. These personalities may have different names, ages, genders, and appearance. DID is often misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all. By raising awareness, the general public can gain a better understanding of the condition. It also helps to create Validation for people with DI. They can accept their multiplicity, share their experiences with others. People with DID are encouraged to share their stories online at events with the friends, family, and health professionals. This Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day originally started as National Multiple Personality Day. Dissociative identity disorder is caused by traumatic events and or abuse occurring in childhood. Abuse can include neglect and the failure to respond to the child. Other early and chronic traumatization can cause it. An example is a medical trauma involving a multiple painful and prolonged medical procedures at an early age. It is most prominent when the trauma begins before the age of 5. When early childhood trauma occurs, it can cause dissociative identity disorder to develop and preventing the child from forming a cohesive or unified sense of self during their earliest years. So this is what is known as core personality. Alternative identities are formed when prolonged trauma causes the different behavioral states that are present from birth to become increasingly disconnected from each other. People who have DID may experience memory loss and send out of body experiences. Some also experience detachment from sensations and emotions. Developing multiple identities is a coping mechanism that protects the child. It keeps trauma memories and emotions contained with specific identities so that they do not overwhelm the child completely. The person may believe that a traumatic event happened to a specific personality and not to them. This allows them to disassociate or dissociate from the event and not have to deal with the fact that it happened. Most studies have helped the medical community to better understand the disorder. Dissociative identity disorder awareness day sheds light on the disorder and helps those affected. So some symptoms of DID include confusion, memory loss, and an altered mood and mental state. DID can lead to distorted views of body and a feeling of being unable to recognize oneself in the mirror. DID is usually caused by a past traumatic event, usually occurring early in childhood. Take the dissociative test with a friend. You will see how different people can be and how much they can also have in common. Learn more about dissociative identity disorder. You can also help by sharing information with others. Women are more likely than men to be diagnosed with DID. It has always been classified as dissociative disorder and not a personal disorder. Dissociative identity disorder is relatively common and affects between 1% to 3% of the population. Most, popul- Most people with DID have a mix of dissociative and post-traumatic symptoms, which may also include non-trauma related symptoms. People with DID can have amnesia for significant events in past or events in everyday life. So this day helps spread information about DID. This allows more people to know how to manage disorder. It allows people affected by disorder to share their stories So it helps spread information about DID. This allows more people to know how to manage this disorder. It allows people affected by the disorder to share stories and it empowers them. Others will also accept those who have DID, which creates understanding. So education is key to understanding. The more educated the public is about condition, the more it creates general validation. So today we are also commemorated Equal Pay Day. Equal Pay Day is observed on March 5th this year in the United States, but the date changes each year. However, Equal Pay Day is an annual observance that symbolizes the ongoing issue of pay disparity and the wage gap between men and women. The date itself symbolizes how far into the year must women work to make as much as men during previous year. As such, this day usually occurs around March or September. The issue of equal pay between male and female. The issue of equal pay between male and female employees have been addressed regularly for quite some time, with legislation and changes occurring steadily in many countries. Yet this is still an issue requiring urgent attention even today. The first national legislation to pass on this issue was the Equal Pay Law, which was ratified by John F. Kennedy in 1960. From the 1970s onward, women employees were increasingly becoming a significant addition to the workforce in several industries. Although there were laws protecting women pay equity, they were always respected. Several studies were conducted during the late 1990s and early 2000s illustrating this issue. The gender wage gap was proved to be a much more pressing question. The Equal Pay Day observance was first organized in 1996 by the National Committee on Pay Equity Day as an initiative to raise awareness of the wage disparity and demonstrate its effects on women. The main goals of this observance were to raise awareness of the issue and implement strategies to close the gap. In 2009, President Barack Obama signed the Live Let Better Pay Act, which helped reinforce some rights granted to female employees against discrimination and wage disparity. Currently, the wage gap between men and women is still a pressing number. In some countries, more than others, but more and more initiatives are taken. It helps bring more attention to the issue and usher in new changes. So it depends on the country and regulations in place. Although the working conditions of women have greatly improved in recent decades, there are still cases where women face unfair treatment in the workplace. So, like most annual celebrations dealing with social issues, the goal is to raise awareness about the issue of communities and mobilize action. So, the first observance of Equal Pay Day was launched in 1996, organized by the National Committee on Pay Equity Day. So, reading about the long struggle for equal wages between men and women is the first step in understanding and its significance. Beginning the process of Equal Pay Day would be most appropriate way to observe this day. There are numerous collectives, associations, and initiatives focusing on spreading the message of equal pay. They are generally organized around the year and will mostly be very active on this day. Joining the efforts can be engaging experience and could begin a lifelong journey of raising awareness of important social issues. As of today, and many parts of the world, women generally earn less than men despite the significant progress made. Many annual observations and days are dedicated to equal pay, making issue one of the most observed in the world. In the US, women make 83% of men's wages, which would amount to approximately $500 billion per year. According to several studies, women make less than men in almost all professions. So the wage gap affects women's savings, ultimately leading to an immense income gap during their retirement. So the fight for equal pay between men and women dates back at least a century with several historical antecedents. There has been significant progress in many parts of the world. But the fact that women are still paid less than men for the same amount of work is a proof that more effort is needed. So whether to establish a position in a male-dominated field or earn as much money as male co-workers or climb up the corporate ladder, women still have to put in twice the effort. The issue weighs on women who represent 48% of the global workforce. So ensuring equity in professional fields is still an issue in the modern day economy. Equal Pay Day, along with other international observances focusing on the same issue, is a reminder of this fact. As a woman suffer from inequalities, it will draw a clear distinction between the business practices of today and genuinely equitable work environment. Today is also commemorated as International Open Data Day. If you believe all kinds of data should be accessible to everyone, the International Open Data Day, which takes place on the date set yearly by the Open Data Organization, is just more relevant. It takes place on March 5th. Open data is a concept that is grounded in data being free and accessible to everyone at any given time. This day was created over a decade ago with the aim of celebrating the use of open data all over the world. Before we talk about the day itself, we have to give you a quick, deeper understanding of concept of open data. The technology transcending as the days to go by, our lives are becoming more on display, and the important data we need seem to be more hidden. The open concept seeks to eradicate that entirely. Open data is ideology that some data should be free and easily accessible, as well as being available for use and republishing by anyone without copywriting or patent restrictions. Simply put, the open data concept allows the free access and use of data. The type of data being considered can range from maps or scientific formulae to very important data like medical data and open government data. OGD, this automatically means that this concept can be used for as much as harm it can for good. However, advocates open data encourage free access and reuse of this data with no restrictions, but control of the type used, thereby eradicating possibly of imported data being used for wrong reasons. So it first appeared in 1995, but had been a topic of conversation in the research world long before that. Researchers, scientists, analysts, and developers believe that open access to data will create an increasingly productivity in the fields of science and technology. This is because people from all over the world will be freely able to see and reuse data to expand research in these fields. International Open Data Day was proposed and founded in 2010, and since then, it has gone a long way to encourage the use of open data communities. The date is chosen annually by governing group members, and the outputs are open for use and reuse by any. Today is also commemorated as Kyrgyzstan National Day. In Kyrgyzstan, this Kalpak is a Kyrgyzstan cap that distinguishes the Kyrgyz from all other local ethnic groups while also advocating exclusivity and inclusivity. The headwear has been regarded as de facto national symbol since 2011. Unlike other traditional Kyrgyz clothing, it is still worn by men of all ages, both the city and the mountain. Since 2017, March 5th has been recognized as National Akkal Day. It is also commemorated as Stop Bad Service Day in US. Rudeness, inattentiveness, and even lying. These are only some of the reasons. Stop Bad Service Day, observed on the first Wednesday in March, which is crucial. The day is all about drawing attention to unpleasant customer service experiences from business and other organizations. We encourage everyone to try to nip this trend in the bud. Bad service can be different between a repeat loyal customer and one who bashes the business online and offline. And according to NICE Seacoast customer survey, more than half of 700 people surveyed were not happy with the service or the resolution they received. But how did the customer service even start, and when did it become so important to a business that often customer service can cost a company billions? According to a 2000 report, the amount came up to $75 billion per year in losses. Consumer service regained its power only when computational technology came around. The 1950s and 60s were a period of innovation and efficiency. Switchboard tech gained more finies and service calls could now be even taken offsite. Customer service was no longer confined to one physical location. The later part of the 20th century saw many technological inventions. Technology now allowed customers to store recorded messages on a disk and even play previously registered messages. Gradually, a log shifted to digital call centers in international labor markets became the norm, and voice technology improved to unrecognizable heights. Then another major change shook up the way everyone handled the service. The internet changed every aspect of communication. Instant chats, personalized behavior, information, and now social media. Each innovation influenced how companies, organizations, and others interacted with the clients and customers. People began to see and expect a better quality of service. Customer service was now a full blown necessity. Today, customer demands a good quality of service, and despite all the technology at our disposal, a human touch. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and celebrations. So see you all tomorrow. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback. Take care. Good night.